Greetings and salutations. Hope this finds you well, comrades. Quick shout out to the two Uber comrades on Patreon supporting my channel and this content. My partner, Thank You Rosa, and Independent Left News. If you want to become Patreon at whatever level, link that down below. Anyways, I just wanted to do a little chat about my experience getting the COVID-19 vaccine. I got the Pfizer iteration of it. I just got my second jab on my left arm right here. It is quite tender and sore, and just wanted to give my experience getting the vaccine. I think it's important to share and talk about these things in case other people are maybe thinking of getting it, or maybe they're in a workplace or in a school where they're being required to, just to see some of the things that maybe they would that you might expect to experience getting it. And again, I think each person, it seems to be pretty individual, the type of reactions or side effects that they get from the vaccine. So you go in, to the pharmacy, went into the local Rite Aid here, which again, it makes me think of like, okay, the COVID vaccine is free. You make your appointment, you get there, you don't even have to show an insurance card, anything like that. They give you the little CDC card, they fill it out. And then for mine, because it's the two-step Pfizer, you have to go back in the second time. They fill it out, the pharmacist did. And it makes me think of like, we could have that for everything. We could have that. We could have that for universal health care. We could have that for any type of pharmaceutical or immunization or whatever type of healthcare, whether it be physical therapy, occupational therapy, etc. Like that's what we need, right? We need universal healthcare. We need to nationalize our healthcare system, nationalize the pharmaceutical companies so they're actually run in and for the best interest of the people, not in order to make money. But that's a bit of a side. So I got my first dose 3 weeks back. Just got kind of tired, lethargic that night. The next day after, I think 2 days after, I was feeling pretty much back to normal. And definitely it's something I noticed after the first shot, and this one, especially the day after, like my arm where the shot is, it's like extremely sore. Like this is like, it hurts to like lift my arm up, so I'm not going to do that too much. And then obviously, you can pick which side you get the COVID shot in. I probably should have picked this arm because I prefer to sleep on my left side. So I'm gonna have to do some sleeping on my back and some right side until this shoulder pain goes away. So those are the only side effects that I've really experienced from getting the shot, is the sore arm and just feeling a little bit kind of sluggish and run down, needing a little bit more sleep and rest. Luckily, I am in a position right now where I am able to just kind of rest and relax and just, until I'm feeling back to 100%. But not everybody is in that position. And I just made a video, will be coming out tomorrow as well, along with this one, about how corporate Democrats are trying to block a measure that would that's currently providing paid leave to people, so they're able to go get the vaccine, and then if they need some time off from work, they're able to get that. So again, the government isn't making it very easy for people to get the vaccine. Again, and there's a lot of people that are hesitant to get it for lots of different reasons, and one of them probably is distrust in the federal government, because more often than not, they're actually not looking out for the best interest of the people, of the working masses, especially the most vulnerable and marginalized within the working class. I mean, for fuck's sake, we couldn't get universal health care during a pandemic. We're out of the 25 wealthiest nations in the world, the United States is the only one that doesn't have universal health care, and we couldn't even get it during a pandemic. All the while, we almost have 700,000 people dead from it, and a good chunk of those would probably still be alive if we had universal healthcare. So I definitely understand why there is hesitancy out there. And I mean, yeah, I'm very, very torn, I guess, on the vaccine mandate issue. frankly, because China, they don't have any type of vaccine mandate, at least on a federal level. It's, you know, educate, provide, information. If you want to get the vaccine, go do it, obviously. But they don't have any type of mandate. And yet they've been able to fully vaccinate 1 billion people against COVID-19 in their country. That is incredible. But also, the people there trust their government exponentially more than people in the United States. I just saw a recent Pew Research Center poll. 24% of the people in the US trust the government. There was a poll conducted by Harvard in 2016 that showed that 95+% of people in China had a highly satisfied or satisfied view of their government. I mean, for God's sakes, like that's 4 times more than people in the U.S. currently have. So no wonder why people are hesitant. The people in the U.S. don't think the U.S. government is actually doing things, operating in their best interest. And, that's definitely been proven true again. No fucking healthcare, no universal healthcare during a pandemic. The paid leave to get the COVID jab set to expire. Eviction moratorium expired. Congress is doing fuck all to extend that. These eviction moratorium patchworks across the state are expiring. The one in my state, I believe it expires tomorrow. The extended unemployment benefits, not canceling student loan debt, even though Biden can do that with the swipe of a pen. No tuition-free college, no eco-socialist Green New Deal, so we have a inhabitable planet to live on. But money printed go for the war machine, but we can't get all these vital services that people really need in the U.S. So I definitely understand why people within the United States, especially the working class, are hesitant to get the vaccine. The distrust in government, the distrust in big pharma as well. But so I had to get it, or I would have to come up with some exemption for my school. But it just seemed like easier just to get it. There's also some restaurants in my area requiring people to get to have the vaccine, and either show a picture of the card or bring the card in themselves. And it does also stop, or not stop, but it slows the spread of it. If you are vaccinated, it does slow that, as well as the fact that if you do get COVID and you are vaccinated, you're less likely to have the serious side effects of potentially being hospitalized or dying. I know people, who are pretty close, close person in my family currently who's actually, in the hospital with battling COVID right now, and they're not vaccinated. And it sounds like a really just horrible, painful thing to go through, to the getting intubated, and just the problems breathing, and the lack of oxygen, and all these things. Like, it's really a horrible fucking way to go, not to mention the fact that, if you're in the hospital with COVID, people can't come and visit you while you're literally, on your deathbed. So I think the choice should ultimately be left up to the individual. I think you should go, the China route, encourage, educate, but don't require. But I should say the people, that are really, against getting the vaccine, and the unvaccinated are largely who are filling up the hospitals at this point. If we want to go that route of not requiring it of everybody, then there needs to be a massive investment in hospitals, and increasing bed capacity, increasing ICU capacity, and producing more ventilators, more PPE, etc. Because it is somewhat selfish, frankly, to not get the vaccine and then you get hospitalized for it. You're taking away a hospital bed from somebody else who maybe has, some type of, like, maybe they got to get their hip replaced or knee replaced, or maybe they have to get some type of surgery for their heart or whatever it may be. Like those unvaccinated people who are filling up the hospitals right now are taking up that bed space. So if we're not going to mandate it, then we need to vastly expand our hospital infrastructure and capacity. And again, best way to do that would obviously be to get rid of the for-profit healthcare system, because for-profit healthcare systems become hugely problematic in a pandemic because they don't have this extra capacity, these extra supplies, because that cuts into their corporate bottom line. That's why we need a NHL style healthcare service where it's public funding of public hospitals. So just some of my thoughts. And again, the US government isn't doing themselves any favor if they really want to get more people vaccinated, because they've shown time and time again during this pandemic they do the bare minimum, if that, to actually look after the well-being and the needs of the working class in this country. So definitely understand people being hesitant to get the vaccine. That's why I just wanted to make this little video sharing my experience getting the 2 Pfizer shots. So I just wanted to share a little bit of this info from the Department of Health here in Washington State, just showing some of the statistics about, the consequences of not potentially getting vaccinated. But again, I do ultimately think it should be up to the, individual person, and take the kind of Chinese approach of educate, encourage, but don't mandate. But again, people there have a lot higher trust in their government, because the government there actually is working in the best interest of the people. We don't have that in the United States. I think that's one of the reasons these vaccine mandates have come up, not to mention just the very individualistic nature of US society in general. This settler colonial state, we're kind of being propagandized with this cult of individualism. If it's good for me but it's not good for the broader community, then well, fuck them. If it's good for me, then it's my choice type of thing. So there's a lot of different layers to unpack with this, and I'm just kind of sharing some of my thoughts on it. So here's some of the Department of Health, some of the stats from Washington State, which again is where I live. This just came out yesterday, right? Yeah, because today's September 30th. Unvaccinated 12 to 34-year-olds. I'm 34, I think, right? Sick, unvaccinated 12 to 34-year-olds in Washington are 6 times more likely to get COVID compared with fully vaccinated 12. I mean, so it does stop, it limits the spread of it. It slows down the spread of it. It doesn't eliminate it all the way, but look at that. 6 times more likely to get COVID if you're unvaccinated and in that age bracket. And then look at this in particular, 26 times more likely to be hospitalized with COVID-19 compared with fully vaccinated 12 to 34-year-olds. I mean, that's pretty fucking huge. And then for older folks, I would assume this would be even higher. 5 times more likely to get COVID compared with fully vaccinated 35 to 64-year-olds. 20 times more likely to be hospitalized with COVID-19 compared with fully vaccinated 20 times more likely to be hospitalized with COVID-19 compared with fully vaccinated 35 to 64-year-olds. And then unvaccinated 65 plus, 4 times more likely to, that's interesting, it's lower. 10 times more likely to be hospitalized with COVID-19 compared with fully vaccinated 65-year-olds. 9 times more likely to die of COVID compared with fully vaccinated. So, I mean, it definitely offers some protection if you get vaccinated. It also slows down, doesn't stop completely the spread of it. And I think especially if you are immune compromised, if you're in that older age bracket, you're more likely to have those serious complications. It definitely, I would think, is a good idea to get vaccinated. Again, if you get you're more likely to have a lot more serious side effects and reactions from getting COVID than you are from getting the vaccine. So again, I was frankly hesitant about getting it, and so that's why I waited until the school required me to get it. But again, the only reactions I've experienced, sore arm from where they put the shot in. So make sure you pick wisely which arm it goes in, and then just kind of a feeling of tiredness and sluggishness. Usually the first shot that only lasted maybe a day, 2 tops. And I think it'll probably be the same with this. The pharmacist said sometimes the second shot, I'm not sure if that's just Pfizer or maybe the other, Moderna one and whatnot, that you might get a fever. Haven't had a fever yet, just feeling a little tired, a little sluggish, and a very sore shoulder. Like that hurts to lift up my arm. But again, like, it offers a good amount of protection from those serious complications of being hospitalized or dying, not to mention it slows down the spread of it as well, which is important. And anyway, so just wanted to share some thoughts, my experience getting the COVID shot, got the Pfizer. And again, like, it just shows that, we could have free at the point of service healthcare in the United States for anything, if we weren't in this capitalist death cult, this corporate duopoly that, is bought and paid for, beholden to the capitalist class while the masses suffer. So again, I understand people being hesitant to get the vaccine. That's why I wanted to share this, because I was at that mindset too, but I had to for my school. So let me know if you want. Have you got the shot? Why or why not? In the comment sections, down below, and no judgments. If you haven't, if you have, there's a lot of good reasons to, some pros and cons about it. And the U.S. government again isn't helping people if the goal is to actually get more people vaccinated, with how they've been handling and treating the working class during this pandemic, right? So like the video if you like the damn video, share your thoughts down below. All part of people. Peace, much love.